Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing how I made these wood block signs using contact paper as a stencil from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be making Ray Dunn inspired blocks, and if you've watched my channel for a while then you know that I like the Ray Dunn style. So I'm going to click on text and I'm going to go up to font and I am going to search for the skinny. And you can download this off of dafont.com, and I'll select that, and the first one I'm going to have it say is Dream Big, and then I'm going to click on alignment and hit center, and then I'm going to bring the line space down a little bit so it's a little closer together. So my block size is just a little bit over 3 inches, so I'm going to go to height and do 3 inches for this. And then the next one, I want it to say be kind.
Been doing this lately, it's so frustrating.
And then for this one, I'm going to go click on alignment and hit center. And then I'm going to make the line space the same. Then I'll hit enter. And then I'm going to do this one 3 inches as well. And then the last one, I'm going to click on text and I'm going to do love what you do. And then the same thing for this one, I'll go to alignment, center, and then I'm going to do 3 inches for the height, which makes it a little bit too big for the width, which actually I'm going to go and do my line spacing. And now I'm just going to resize this and make it just a little bit smaller so it'll fit on my block. I probably just want to do 3 inches for the width. Okay, and I think that looks good for those. So now I'm going to click on Make It. And then I'm going to click Continue. And then I just use the vinyl setting for the contact paper, and I'll show you how I cut this out. Here's the contact paper I'm using from the Dollar Tree. I open this up and place it on my mat. I take my paper off of the mat, and I always find it easier to turn my mat around and bend it backwards to get the material off of the mat. You can't really see it on the video, but it did cut a little through the backing, but it still worked, and you can also try the setting Paper Plus if the vinyl setting cuts through too much. Then I cut and weed out my design. With stencils, you want to weed out the actual design, so I'm weeding out the letters, and this is the opposite of how you would normally do where you just weed out the excess vinyl. I used Minwax Provincial 211 stain for my blocks. Here's the blocks that I'm using. I had the wood cut at Home Depot and I sanded them down before I stained them. Then I take my transfer paper and place it over the contact paper, and I scrape it down and then I peel off the backing. Then I place this on the wood block and peel off the transfer paper. I do these for the other two as well. I decided to put Mod Podge over the stencil first just to help the paint from bleeding through. You want to do a thin layer of Mod Podge and let it completely dry before you start painting. I'm using white chalk paint, which is usually what I like to use because it is a thicker paint, which works well with stencils to prevent any paint from bleeding through the stencil. I pour my paint onto the tray and then I press down on the letters just to make sure it's sealed. I like to use these foam brushes for stencils, and I put the brush in the paint and then I dab off most of it on another part of my tray. You don't want to have too much paint on your brush, or that could also cause the paint to run through as well. And then when I start painting, I do up and down motions instead of brush strokes. I got a little bit of paint off of the stencil, so I decided to use painter's tape for the other two. I let all three of those dry and then I went in and did a second coat of paint. For my stencils, I wait for the paint to dry almost all of the way and then I peel away the contact paper. And this is always my favorite part. It also can be a little scary, but I always like to see how it turned out. I use my weeding tool to get the inside of the letters out. So I'm not sure what happened with the A because that was the only spot that had just a little bit of paint bleeding through. I took a wet paper towel and wiped away that paint that went past the stencil. One thing that I noticed with chalk paint, it seemed like some of the paint came off a little with the stencil. I might give some other paints a try, and if you have a favorite, let me know what you use in the comments below. Here's how they turned out. Overall, I think Dollar Tree contact paper is a great option for a stencil, especially if you are on a budget. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are new to my channel.